Have you ever pondered the deadliest roads in the world? Would it surprise you to learn that many of them are in Africa? Africa, a continent of stunning landscapes and diverse cultures, is also home to some of the world's most perilous paths. A journey across these treacherous terrains can be an adventure of a lifetime, but it can also turn into a nightmare in the blink of an eye. Imagine driving on a road as narrow as a razor's edge, with a sheer drop on one side and a towering cliff on the other. Or picture yourself on a seemingly endless sandy stretch where your only guide is the relentless sun above and the shifting dunes below. But the danger doesn't stop at extreme terrain. Imagine making your way through dense forests where the rustle of leaves might not just be the wind, but a lurking predator. In Africa, an unexpected encounter with wildlife is not a rarity but a harsh reality. A journey can quickly turn into a deadly game of survival against the continent's most fearsome beasts. And yet the physical challenges of the journey are just the tip of the iceberg. Africa's roads are also riddled with man-made threats. Terrorist organizations, armed and dangerous, lurk in the shadows, their intentions as unpredictable as the roads themselves. A trip that starts as an exploration can end up in a fight for survival against forces far beyond your control. Finally, some paths in Africa are simply impassable. Floods, landslides, and the sheer lack of infrastructure can leave you stranded in the middle of nowhere with no help in sight. And in these desolate stretches, every second can be a race against time. So what does it take to brave these perilous paths? Courage, skill, and a will of steel. But most importantly, an understanding that in Africa, the road is not just a means to an end. It's a journey filled with unexpected trials where the destination is survival itself. Let's delve into the heart of darkness where every turn can be a test of survival. Imagine, if you will, driving along a narrow cliffside road, the sheer drop on one side and a rock wall on the other. Welcome to Africa's most perilous paths, where the journey is often more dangerous than the destination itself. Let's delve into some of these tales of terror. Picture this: a driver navigating the winding roads of the Ethiopian highlands, which are notorious for their steep cliffs and hairpin bends. One misstep, one miscalculation, and the consequences are unthinkable. There are stories of drivers who've braved these routes, their knuckles white on the steering wheel as they balance precariously between a rock and a hard place. Consider, too, the treacherous terrains of the Sahara Desert, vast unending stretches of sand, where the only landmarks are the shifting dunes themselves. It's easy to get lost, and even easier to succumb to the harsh conditions. We've heard tales of seasoned drivers who've underestimated the desert's might, their vehicles swallowed by the sands, leaving them stranded miles away from civilization. And then there are the rainforests of Central Africa, where the roads are less roads and more muddy trails. The rains turn these paths into slippery snakes ready to trip up even the most seasoned drivers. Stories abound of trucks stuck in the mud for days, their drivers battling not just the elements, but also the lurking wildlife. These roads aren't just tests of skill, they are tests of courage, resilience, and sheer determination. They demand respect, and those who don't heed this often pay a heavy price. These tales aren't meant to scare, but rather to highlight the very dangers that these drivers face. Each journey is a gamble, a dance with danger that requires nerves of steel and an iron will. But it's not all doom and gloom. For every tale of terror, there's one of triumph, of drivers who've braved these perils and lived to tell the tale. And that's just a glimpse of the trials some drivers face daily. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the perils of Africa's most dangerous roads in our next segment. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to explore some of the top destinations in Africa. Let's not forget about the untamed wilderness that flanks these roads. The African landscape, while breathtakingly beautiful, is also home to a myriad of wildlife species that don't always play nice. These creatures, from the smallest insects to the largest predators, pose unexpected dangers to drivers traversing these treacherous roads. Take, for instance, the tale of a driver who, while navigating the winding roads of the Serengeti, found himself face to face with a herd of elephants. The colossal creatures, disturbed by the intrusion, charged at the vehicle, leaving the driver with no choice but to reverse at high speed, heart pounding like a drum in his chest. Or consider the story of a trucker who, on a moonlit night drive through the Bushveld, had a close encounter of the big cat kind. A lion, perhaps drawn by the rumbling of the engine or the vehicle's headlights, leaped onto the road, causing the driver to swerve and narrowly avoid a collision. It's not just the larger, more obvious creatures that pose a risk. A swarm of locusts, seemingly appearing out of nowhere, can obscure a driver's vision in an instant, transforming the road ahead into a terrifying abyss. And let's not forget the venomous snakes that can slither into the undercarriage, making for an unwelcome surprise at the next pit stop. Then there are the baboons, creatures known for their intelligence and curiosity. They've been known to approach stationary vehicles, testing door handles and sometimes even managing to break in search of food. Imagine returning from a brief roadside break to find a troop of baboons rifling through your belongings. These encounters serve as stark reminders of the unpredictability of African wildlife. They underscore the importance of respecting these creatures and their habitats, of understanding that on these roads, we are merely visitors in their domain. Indeed, a drive in Africa can quickly turn into a safari gone wrong. But the danger isn't always from nature. Sometimes it's man-made. There's a chilling reality to traversing Africa's perilous paths. The threat of crossing paths with terrorist organizations amplifies the already high stakes of these journeys. Imagine this: you're driving along a dusty road, the endless expanse of the African savanna stretching out on either side. Suddenly, the comforting monotony is broken. A roadblock appears ahead, manned not by uniformed officials but by masked figures, armed and dangerous. This isn't a scene from an action movie, but a too real scenario that drivers on these roads face. These areas, often remote and lawless, can be breeding grounds for terrorist organizations. In the absence of a strong state presence, they exploit the vulnerability of the terrain and its travelers. Unwitting drivers can find themselves ensnared in their dangerous web. The threat isn't just physical. These organizations can seize vehicles and supplies, crippling the movement of goods and people. The risk is equally high for those traveling in convoy. These groups, larger and potentially more lucrative targets, can draw the unwanted attention of these organizations. Even the most experienced drivers aren't immune. With years on these roads under their belts, they know all too well that every journey could turn into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. But the drivers press on, driven by necessity or a sense of duty. They carry essential goods, deliver aid, or transport locals who have no other means of journeying across the vast continent. Their courage and resilience are a testament to the human spirit, a beacon of light in the face of adversity. Yet the looming threat of terrorism casts a long and dark shadow over these roads. It adds a layer of human danger to the already treacherous terrain and unpredictable wildlife. It's a stark reminder that not all threats come from nature. Sometimes they're man-made, a product of conflict and unrest. A trip down these roads can be a journey into the unknown, with threats lurking at every corner. The shadow of terrorism adds a sinister hue to the already daunting task of navigating Africa's dangerous roads. But as always, the journey continues. And then there are the roads that are, quite simply, impassable. Indeed, the African continent, with its vast and diverse terrain, is home to some of the most challenging roads in the world. These are roads that would give even the most seasoned adventure seekers pause. Imagine hurtling down a road that suddenly transforms into a muddy river during the rainy season. The vehicle's tires spin in vain, hopelessly mired in the sludge, while the driver battles to maintain control. It's not an uncommon scenario in many parts of Africa, where the infrastructure is still in the process of catching up with the needs of its population. Or picture this: a road that twists and turns, clinging precariously to the side of a mountain. One wrong move, one slight miscalculation, and you're plummeting into a steep ravine. These are the roads that wind through Africa's mountainous regions, roads that demand the utmost concentration and nerves of steel. And then there are the desert roads. The Sahara, the world's largest hot desert, stretches across much of North Africa. Here, the roads can disappear under shifting sands in the blink of an eye, leaving travelers stranded in an unforgiving landscape. It's a harsh reminder that nature can be as formidable an adversary as any. There's also the issue of maintenance, or rather, the lack of it. Potholes big enough to swallow a car whole, bridges on the brink of collapse, roads that are more like obstacle courses than thoroughfares. These are just some of the realities that drivers have to contend with. To navigate these roads, you need more than just a sturdy vehicle and a sense of adventure. You need a deep understanding of the terrain, the weather, and the unique challenges that each road presents. The roads in Africa are a testament to the resilience and determination of its people. They are a reminder that in this part of the world, the journey is as much a part of the adventure as the destination. In Africa, sometimes the road ends where you least expect it. The consequences of these dangerous roads are staggering. The toll of life and property taken by these treacherous terrains is nothing short of catastrophic. Every year, thousands of lives are lost to the unpredictable and perilous nature of Africa's roads. Each death is a story untold, a journey abruptly ended. Mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, friends, and lovers. The roads do not discriminate. The seemingly endless stretches of desolate terrains, the unanticipated encounters with wildlife, the lurking threat of terrorist attacks, each contribute to these grim numbers. Not only are lives lost, but countless others are permanently altered. Injuries sustained in accidents on these roads can lead to lifelong disabilities. People who were once providers become dependents. Their dreams and aspirations ground to a halt by the cruel hand of fate. Moreover, the economic impact cannot be ignored. Billions of dollars are lost annually due to vehicle damages, medical expenses, and loss of productivity. This is a significant drain on the economies of African countries, many of which are already grappling with numerous challenges. And let's not forget the psychological toll. The constant fear of what lies around the next bend can be a heavy burden to bear. It can lead to stress, anxiety, and other mental health issues, further exacerbating the problem. But it's not just about the numbers. Each statistic represents a life irrevocably changed. Each number is a reminder of the human capacity to endure and adapt, of our collective resilience in the face of adversity. The price of traversing these roads can be, quite literally, a matter of life and death. But it's also a testament to the indomitable spirit of the people who navigate these roads daily. Their determination to keep moving forward, to keep living, despite the odds. These are the people who make Africa a continent of unparalleled beauty and strength. Their stories are the stories of Africa. Their courage is the heartbeat of the continent. So, what have we learned about Africa's deadly roads? We've journeyed down perilous paths, where sheer cliffs, treacherous turns, and extreme weather conditions test the mettle of even the most seasoned adventurers. We've heard haunting tales of terror, of unsuspecting travelers falling prey to the lurking dangers that hide in the shadows of these isolated routes. We've explored the wildlife woes, where elephants, lions, and other majestic beasts of the wild claim their territories, making every journey a thrilling game of survival. We've delved into the chilling reality of the terrorist threat, a stark reminder of the human dangers that can lie in wait. We've navigated the impassable impediments, where roads, or the lack thereof, can turn a simple journey into an impossible mission. And we've mourned the deadly toll, the lives lost to the unforgiving realities of these dangerous roads. Indeed, the roads of Africa are a testament to the continent's wild and untamed spirit, where adventure and danger often go hand in hand.